Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lily Reads. As you can tell by the sweater and the autumnal leaves, we are here to do all things fall. I want to do spooky, I want to do fall, I want to do cozy. I just want to get some good reads in October that have to do with the season. And you guys know, if you watched my last video, I'm all about 5-star predictions. I'm all about reading books that I think I'm going to love. So in order to be on theme in this video, I am going to be reading all types of spooky, thriller, mystery types of books. And then to go even more in my 5-star prediction, all of these books are going to be by Black authors because I think you should read Black authors all year, but it does not matter what genre you are trying to read. There are Black authors writing in that genre. And so I want to do thriller, spooky, mystery, and I want to read some Black authors, and I'm going to do all that right now. So what are we going to read? First things first, we are going to read Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a middle grade book because not only can you read Black authors and get spooky thriller, but you can also go in any age range. And we are going to do middle grade with this Tiffany D. Jackson book. Tiffany D. Jackson is an author I have loved several books in the past. I'll put them on the screen. You Have Grown. You Have Mondays Not Coming. What? Let Me Hear a Rhyme, something like that. Allegedly. I have read so many books by this author. The Weight of Blood was, I think, the last book I read from her. Well, the last new release I read from her. And so we are going to read Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I think this is going to be a really, really good book. The next book we are going to read is from a young adult author that moved into adult novels, and this is another book in this series. I already read the first book, and that is The Game is Afoot by Elise Bryant. I read an Elise Bryant book last month. It was a reread, but it wasn't in this series. I read It's Elementary last year, or maybe the year before, probably last year, and I enjoyed it. And so, of course, I wanted to read the sequel, and that is what we are going to do here. I'll talk about this more when we get to it, but yeah, we are going to read this book. And lastly, we have a book that is new to my collection. I went to the bookstore and I looked to see what they had when it came to like spooky mystery type of books by Black authors, and this one is leading with a Black male. So I said that's something different that we don't usually do around here, because you guys know I don't really like reading books about boys, but you know what? I said let's try it. We are going to read Ryan Douglas, The Taking of Jake Livingston, and look at this. Doesn't this just look so spooky, so horror, so good? And that is what we are going to do in this video. We are going to read these 3 books. I think it's going to be a good week, so let's get on into it. I think we should start with the Tiffany D. Jackson book, but let's see. I'll talk to you about it later, okay? Peace. Guys, I'm here for our first reading update because I'm trying to move through these books. I genuinely want to read this entire book in one day, and I'm making good progress. So we are starting with Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. Let me tell you my history with Tiffany D. Jackson. I love her. She put all the books she's published in the right here, and let me tell you what my feelings are. The only book I did not read, she did like a Marvel tie-in type of book. I did not read that, but I have read every other book from her. I've read every other book. So you have The Weight of Blood, which I gave 5 stars. Probably in the here and now, I would probably move that to like a 4. White Smoke was this like gothic horror type of story. Not my thing, but I still enjoyed it well enough and gave it a 3.5. Then you have Grown, which I give 5. Let Me Hear a Rhyme, which I gave a 4. You have Monday's Not Coming, which I give a 5. And then you have Allegedly, which I gave a 4. Probably in this time, I would give it a 4. I've liked everything that she's done. Tiffany Jackson would be considered one of my favorite authors. So, of course, I was going to pick up her middle grade debut. And I want to start by saying that this book does not read like a middle grade. Yes, our character is young, but this could fall into young adult. I think the length of the book would put it in middle grade, but I think like Tiffany D. Jackson could have made this a young adult book, and it doesn't really read that different from a young adult book. But anyways, let me tell you what this book is about. So in this book, we are following a character named Kalani. I think her name is something along those lines, and she is going to head to Martha's Vineyard to hang out with a family friend of hers. Her family is not really on the up and up. Her dad just got arrested and sentenced to prison time, and she's of the belief that he didn't do whatever he got sent to prison for. And so she's trying to deal with the fact that her dad is no longer in her life except for phone calls, and her mother is a nurse and is working a lot of shifts to make ends meet. And so in order to have her a good summer, her mom is going to send her off to Martha's Vineyard to go hang out with these family friends who have really done a lot for her family. They're rich, clearly. They're on Martha's Vineyard. And so she's just like, okay. She doesn't want to go, but she's going to go. So when she gets there, she meets the granddaughters of these people, Cassie and Kendall. What's that girl name? Her name is Cassie, and I think it's something along those lines of like Kendall. And Kendall is her age, so Kendall is who she's going to be hanging out with this summer. And Kendall sucks. Kendall is uppity and classist, and she thinks that our main character is ghetto trash. Well, they quickly try to like get her involved in the Martha's Vineyard world, and she meets this boy named Chadwick. Chadwick is at the house when she gets to the house, and Chadwick is the older sister's age, and he used to date the older sister, but they broke up for reasons. And so Chadwick has a younger brother named Miles, and that's more her age. Well, one day they go to a party, and Chadwick ends up dead. Chadwick ends up dead after the party, and everyone wants to know who did it. Quickly, the older daughter of the granddaughter of this family, the Watsons, she is a suspect. Because she knew the boy. She was the last one with the boy. So basically they're trying to solve what's going on with this boy. Why did he die? How did he die? Who killed him? But there's also other secrets afoot, and those other secrets afoot is simply that something is weird about the way that this family, the family she's staying with, the family friends, the Watson, how they got their money, how they got this house, and there could be one big cover up, one big conspiracy, who knows? But our main character, I am sure, is going to be the person to solve all of this drama. And she's also trying to get her daddy out of jail. That's like a C plot going on in this book. I'm really enjoying this book. I don't know why it took so long for me to get that synopsis out and clear, but it's actually a very focused, clear book. And I'm enjoying it a lot, like a lot. One of my favorite things in a mystery thriller book is when someone comes into like a new town and everyone is weird and everyone has secrets, but nobody lets the main character in on the secret. When everyone's acting normal, but our main character is like something's off. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you get that vibe in here. Tiffany D. Jackson's writing is so like to the point that I love it. It's so clear. It's not muddy. I just love the way that Tiffany D. Jackson writes. The characters in here are strong. Everyone is black. We're on Oak Bluff. This is like the year of Oak Bluff. Between this book, that Forever TV show that was on Netflix, and then I think in Good Dirt, they was on Oak Bluff too. This is the year of Oak Bluff. I never heard about nobody writing stuff about Oak Bluff to this year, and all I heard about is Oak Bluff. So Oak Bluff is where the black people stay on Martha's Vineyard. And so it's really good. I'm coming to say this. I'm really enjoying, to the point where I really think we're going to get another 4 or 5 stars. It's probably going to be a 4.5. Let's take a guess. I think I'm going to go with a 4.5 on this one, but it's easy to read. This is the perfect book to read in a day. I'm really enjoying, and like, I'm actually curious about the mystery, because sometimes in a like middle grade mystery thriller, I like the ride, I like the vibes, but like the actual mystery, I'm just like, okay, it's kind of obvious who's done it. I don't know what the hell going on here. And so I have 100 pages to figure out what the hell is going on here. So I am enjoying myself. I am going to finish this, and I will come and talk to you guys about it when I do, okay? Peace. Hello, you guys. I am here for a reading update. I finished the book, our first book of the video. I have finished Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson, and boy, did I miss reading Tiffany D. Jackson books. Tiffany D. Jackson has a way of writing black girl characters so good, and this book is really, really good. I would give this book like 5 stars for a middle grade book, and I would give it 4 stars for my personal, like, I'm a grown woman, and I would give this book 4 stars, but it works in every single way, so much so this book could have been a young adult book and been 300 pages, and it would have been even better. Like, this book has all the makings of a really good young adult book, and I wish it was a young adult book, but the middle graders need their books, they need their food, so it is perfectly fine that this book is middle grade. And Tiffany D. Jackson has done it again. I just can't stop liking Tiffany D. Jackson books. This book was just really interesting. I was interested in the mystery, and I like this book. Also moved into thriller territory, which I thought was really, really good. I enjoyed this book through and through, and it really kind of broke me out of my reading slump. I've been in a really bad reading slump. That's why I picked these books specifically, because I'm just like, low stakes, black authors, it should get me, and this one did. I was excited to move on to our next book, and our next book is going to be Ryan Douglas, The Taking of Jake Livingston. First of all, I really, really love this cover, and I also love the fact that this is a young adult book starring a young black boy. I think black males in the writing sphere are so underrepresented. How often do we get like a really popular book in the TikTok, booktube, whatever space that is centering a young black boy, or just centering a black person, period? You can go through literary fiction, romance, young adult, any genre, fantasy, any genre, and I just feel like they are underrepresented. So I wanted to make sure I was able to show not only do we have a young black boy, but we have a young black boy in horror. So what am I thinking about this book? I say this, or maybe I haven't said this, if I am going to enjoy horror, I am probably going to enjoy it on a middle grade level or on a young adult level. I don't get adult horror. I don't understand adult horror. I don't know why adult horror really exists. It just doesn't gel with me. Something about adult horror, I never liked them. I think I've given one adult horror book a good review, and that is it. And so I'm excited about this because, number one, I'm always trying to prove myself wrong. I'm always trying to stay curious about my joy. And so maybe I, number one, can like a horror book this year. And also, I think I'm going to like a young adult horror book. And it's just been a long time since I feel like I've read a young adult book. Did I read any young adult books I did one reread of a young adult book. So I'm actually excited to get back into this age range because I've been missing it. You guys know I love Black young adult, and we're going to do a Black young adult horror, which is new for me. So that is what I am going to do, and I'm going to come back with my initial thoughts on The Taking of Jake Livingston. And we're going to see how all of this goes, okay? Peace. about to go work out, but before I go do that, I need to give you guys an update on the Taking of Jake Livingston, because I'm actually kind of almost done with this book. I have like less than 100 pages left of this book, and I need to come and tell you what this book is about. So in this book, we are following two people. One person is alive and one person is dead. Let's start with Jake Livingston. Jake Livingston is a black boy who goes to high school in Atlanta. He goes to a prep school where he is the only black boy in his class, and we learn very quickly that Jake is able to see ghosts. He is able to see spirits. He is able to see people who have died, even if they have no connection to him. Well, something happened in his city. There is a high school somewhere in his city where there was a mass shooting, and a boy named Sawyer, he killed a lot of his classmates. And so Jake begins to start seeing Sawyer. He starts seeing Sawyer places, and it seems like Sawyer is haunting him. He comes home one day and he sees that his next door neighbor, a guy named Mateo, I think, it has been killed. And this starts this idea in the media that there is a serial killer going around killing people. But Jake believes that it is Sawyer, this ghost of this mass shooter, who is going around doing this. Sawyer keeps following Jake around, and Jake knows that Sawyer wants something to do with him. He just doesn't know what. So Jake is dealing with that. And Jake also has like regular high school stuff he's dealing with. He has bullies at school. He doesn't get along with his brother. His mom works too much. He has stuff going on there. And now the other POV we're getting is Sawyer. We are getting chapters of Sawyer's diary. Sawyer is the mass shooter, and he is writing a diary about all the things he dislikes about his life. At this current moment, even in this moment, me almost done with the book, I still don't exactly know why we're getting those chapters, but that is what is happening. And so almost every single night, Jake Livingston gets taken into like the underworld, the afterworld, where he's around a bunch of dead people, and he's trying to figure out, what does Sawyer want with him? What does he have to do with all of this drama and nonsense? And that is pretty much so far the Taking of Jake Livingston. How do I feel about this book? Okay, this book is enjoyable enough. As someone who doesn't really read horror, I think horror works with me and young adult because you're allowed to get silly and goofy, and you can blame it on it just being like a young book. It's kind of like Goosebumps. You can do kind of cheesy things because it's for a younger audience. So the horror stuff isn't really bothering me. I think what's bothering me a little bit is the world building in this book. So we immediately jump in this book and it's taken off. But I don't feel like a foundation was really set to understand what Jake's doing. So Jake is a medium. Like I said, he's able to see ghosts, and Jake is pretty aware of this. This has been happening to Jake for a very long time in his life, but I just don't feel like that's established in the book. I just feel like this book needed like 2 chapters to establish the life of Jake. It kind of feels like we're just following this character, but we really don't know anything about him. We really don't know anything about this world, and it's like the more you read, the more information it's given to you, but instead of it feeling like, ooh, let me find my way around this place, it kind of just feels like afterthoughts, like, oh, need to tell you guys this, and so it kind of takes you out of the book, and you kind of don't care, or you just don't understand. Another thing, when there's action scenes in this book, or when Jake is interacting with this ghost and stuff, I don't know if they're written the best. They're kind of hard to follow. They're kind of hard to see. The scenes jump from thing to thing, and it's kind of hard to understand like what is happening. How do we end up jumping into this scene? And I feel like I said, if things were established first, if we had an establishing scene of, you know, Jake explaining everything and us going to this like afterworld and seeing it one time and having everything be explained, then more stuff later would make sense. But I do think the dialogue in this book is very, very good, and I do think this book is different, and that's what's keeping me going. And also, I'm kind of curious. Like, I have no clue how these last 100 pages are going to go, and I'm actually very curious, and that's a good thing. The many books I get towards the end, I'm just like, can this end? I'm actually curious about what the hell is going to happen, and like what am I doing here? Why is all of this happening? So altogether, this is perfectly enjoyable. It's gonna probably be a 3-star unless I am literally gooped and gagged by the ending. We're looking at about a 3-star, which I'll take at this point. I will take at this point, but I'm gonna keep on reading, and I will come to you guys with my final thoughts. And then we need to come talk Halloween candy. Last year, y'all dragged me for my Halloween candy. We're gonna talk Halloween candy when I come back, what I'm doing this year when it comes to Halloween candy. Okay? Peace. We have some reading updates, we have wrap ups, and we have updates. So I was able to finish The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. I do want to say I really enjoy this cover. I think this cover is really, really good. And so my final thoughts on this book is that this book is frustrating because this book has all the elements to actually be really, really good. This book has a lot it wants to say. It has a lot it wants to say about trauma, childhood trauma, teen trauma, about violence that kids, that happens to kids, about wanting to get revenge, about wanting to get control of your life, about taking out your anger onto other people, and is that healthy, about dealing with your sexuality, dealing with resentment towards your family. All of this stuff is really good. Relationships between parents. It has all of this stuff going on that is actually really good, and it dives into topics that I wasn't expecting it to dive into, and that they don't dive into a lot when it comes to young adult books. And so I really enjoyed that aspect. I just think that taking all of those ideas, putting it with this horror element, where this boy, he's a medium and he can see ghosts and something is trying to take over his body. I just think it doesn't all come together, and I don't think the ghost scenes are written all that well. I think they're kind of hard to follow and a little bit uninteresting. So altogether, I think this book is a 3-star book. I think there is something here. There is something interesting here. And there's a romance that happens in this book that I actually find to be really, really tender and sweet. And so there's a lot of legs that this book has. I just don't think it all comes together to go for a run. I don't think it starts running, but there is something here, and that's what frustrates me. I was expecting when I got halfway through to be like, okay, whatever. But the more this book goes on, the more you see what this book is trying to do. And it's almost like this book doesn't have the time to do what it really wants to do. It feels like Ryan Douglas is trying to do a lot with 250 pages, and it's like, why not add another 50? And that 50, I think, should have been added to the beginning. I just feel like we are like dropped into this world, and I don't think, if you are somebody who just picks up books and you just like, ooh, let me see if this is for me, I don't actually think you would continue this book. I think you would kind of be like, that's weird, let me go. And like, you want to be gripped. I don't think this book is as gripping as it could be, because it has such an interesting premise and such interesting things that it is trying to say, and the direction that it goes in is very interesting. I just don't think it's fully done well. So I will give this 3 stars, but I also will say this is perfect for the Halloween time. Like, it gets you right in the vibe. It gets you into the spooky, gets you into the horror. So when it comes to the vibes of this video, I think it is really, really good. So I finished that, and I immediately wanted to jump into our next book, and so that is what I did. And I started reading The Game is Afoot by Elise Bryant. Now, this is a sequel. It's Elementary is the first book in this series. I really enjoyed this book. This book is one of those cases where you give a book like a 3.5, 3.75, but it's the most like great 3.75. This book didn't blow my mind. I don't think I can ever be blown away by a cozy mystery except for what the hell Vera Wong is doing. I love that series, but this was everything I want in a cozy mystery. I enjoyed this book through and through. I literally have nothing I would actually really change about it. And so of course I was going to read the sequel, and we are back with our girl Mavis. If you don't remember, Mavis is a single mother of a daughter named Pearl. She was married, she got a divorce, and she lives in the suburbs, and she's around all of these uppity white people who care too much about the PTA, who care too much about the soccer team, who care too much about everything that's going on in a kid's life. And she is kind of just trying to keep up. She's working at a nonprofit. She has her daughter. She has her dad. Her ex-husband is back in the picture. She has a new boyfriend. So she just got a lot going on, and she just can't do all this stuff. But she always gets thrust into the middle of a murder, and so that's what happens in the first book. And in this book, we are back once again. So I am on page 100 of this book, and like I said, all of those things are happening in Mavis's life. Well, she got a $20,000 payout for what happened to her in the first book. You have to read to figure out what happens, but she gets a $20,000 payoff, and she uses that money to put her daughter into this soccer program that everybody wants to be in. The biggest reason why she's going to do it is because her best friend Jasmine has a son, and he's in it, so she's like, we'll go too. Well, baby, the soccer coach dropped dead. The soccer coach drops dead. And of course, in a cozy mystery, there's always something, a call to action that gets our main character involved in, figuring out who done it. And this is important because her ex-husband, he might be the person who done it, because he was in charge of the snacks. He was in charge of the snacks, and the soccer coach was drinking a Capri Sun, and they found poison residue on the Capri Sun, and they think he might be involved. So of course our main character is probably going to be the one to try to clear her ex-husband's name, because she's been feeling him lately. He's really been showing up for her, and Mavis is just all over the place. She's just at her wit's end. And what I really enjoy about this book so far is that usually when you're reading a murder mystery series, the characters aren't heavily affected by what happened to them in the last book. They get thrust into murders, and they just be like another day at the office. But I enjoy that Mavis has like wounds. Like she has been through a lot. She was almost killed in the last book. Somebody around her died. Like she has a lot going on, and you feel the burden. You feel like there's a lot on her shoulders and she's been through stuff. And that's what you want to feel when a series is continuing. I also just love being in this world. Elise Bryant does a really good job of setting this world up. She's not too quick to go into the murder, because sometimes, you guys know I'm not a big fan of cozy mysteries. Sometimes when you get into a cozy mystery, it feels a little silly. It feels like mystery for mystery's sake. But what I like about this book is like there's a full world. Like we have characters from the last book coming back. We have new characters in here, and it all just feels like it makes sense. I'm being dropped into this little town where, you know, people's is dropping dead. And so I really, really like it. I'm enjoying myself, and I like the setup. The first 100 pages in this are working for me, so I have no notes. I think the little girl, her daughter, is so adorable. Her dialogue is so good. Oh, and another thing probably my favorite thing about this book, in this book, this was a really prevalent in the last book, but there's like message boards. There's like a message board that all of the parents have, and they leave little snide remarks to each other, and you're kind of following the plot through the message board sometimes to get everyone's opinion on what's going on. And they're so good. Elise Bryant writes them so well. And yeah, Elise Bryant's writing is just like really, really good in this series. That's what I really want to say. Her writing is so good, and she's just getting better with age. So this one is working so far. I will come and give y'all probably thoughts before I finish, and then we'll wrap up the video. But I said we was gonna talk about Halloween candy. Let me tell y'all what I'm doing this year. Halloween satchel. And I decided to fill up my Halloween satchel with my favorites. I'm sorry, the kids gotta eat what I'm gonna eat. Now the problem with me is I'm going to eat on this all month. Halloween is on the last day. But yeah, Halloween is on the last day of the month. And so I'm going to be eating on this, and the kids get what's left. They get what's left. So let me tell you what I'm doing this year. As you can surely see, Skittles. You can never go wrong with a Skittle. Everybody loves a Skittle. I think the best Skittles are these, the blueberry Skittles. I will never buy Skittles like in the packet when it's just the red. I think the red are perfectly good, but you've had these your whole life. Like nothing to write home about. The blueberry Skittles, yeah, these won't be making it to the kids. I'm probably gonna eat all of them. And so then, the next thing I decided to indulge in, sour straws. Let's get into sour straws. Can we get into sour? Let's get into sour straws. Can we get into sour straws? These are so damn good. You can't eat too many of them because they will fuck up the roof of your mouth. But you can eat a good like 4 a day, and they are so good. As somebody who sits on this couch and reads, it is just so fun to just grab 2 of these and bust out 50 pages. I love these, and I just think this is just something so fun for the kids. I just think the kids will love them. Another thing that I got, let me tell you what I hate. So when I was getting my bag, these Lifesaver gummies, I hate these. I hate these so bad. I don't like the texture of it in your mouth. I don't like anything about them. So these definitely go into the kids because I don't want them. But they came in one of the bags, so it's in here now. Another underrated thing that I just learned I like, these Skittles gummies. Yeah, these are good. Yeah, these are good. I can't do gummies a lot. They hurt my gums. I'm a very gummy person. Gummies, gum. But I'm a very gummy girl. So, like, gummies, like, they fuck with my gum. But, like, one of these, like, maybe one of these I will eat. I had some, like, last week, and they're really good. But my man actually likes these the most, so he will eat those. So, that is, like, my candy. Like, my sweets. Let's get into the chocolates. I think when it comes to Halloween, M&M's. To me, M&Ms are the staple Halloween candy. If you are going to have chocolates, you should have M&Ms. Even people who don't really eat chocolate, they fuck with M&Ms. M&Ms are so good. Now, I do not eat peanut butter M&Ms, but I know a lot of black people who do. So this is what you put in the bag for the kids, and they give it to their mama. Now, the issue with peanut M&Ms is, you know, everybody got a peanut allergy these days. So I probably won't even end up giving these to the kids. This is probably just gonna like sit out for like people around my house to eat, because I ain't trying to get nobody kids sent to the ER. But this is all me. Every night every night I just want something sweet. I will grab one of these and I'll go to bed. Like these, oh, I love M&Ms. And I don't understand. I don't like really other chocolate. I'm about to tell you my favorite chocolate though. But M&Ms, they just do something to me. What else? And lastly, so I only did M&Ms and this last thing. I'm not doing Snickers. I'm not doing Reese's, because I don't really eat Snickers at all. I'll eat a Reese's on my own during the year, but Reese's is Halloween candy, I can't lie. But it's not my favorite Halloween candy, you know? My favorite Halloween candy, a candy I only eat during Halloween time, get into her, a Crunch Bar. Crunch Bars are the most underrated Halloween candy. These are so good. When I tell you I grab an M&M before bed, I grab one of these two before bed. This and a cold glass of water, is all I need. It is all I need to get my sweet tooth out the way. I love a Crunch Bar, but I only eat Crunch Bars during Halloween because this is all you need. You don't need the big old family size. You don't need no. This is all I need. So those are my Halloween candies. This year. Predictable. Maybe the sour straws is not as predictable. Nothing crazy, but I think that's a good go. And so I eat on this throughout the entire month, and whatever is left for the kids, I give to the kids. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later, okay? I am here to wrap this video up. I think I told you guys I was going to come and talk to you guys like halfway through this book, and I didn't. I did end up finishing this book, and I will say I did enjoy the first book more than I enjoyed this book. This book actually took me way longer to read than I expected it. Something about this book just felt very long, and I think that the characters in the first book were better. The setup was better. In this book, I still love Mavis. I love Pearl, and I like the world that this book is in. But the characters that have to do with the mystery just were not as fun as they were in the first one. And I actually found them to kind of be like just flat type of characters. Like all of these people could be the people who did the murder, who could be involved. And so it wasn't as interesting as the first one. I felt like the first one just had a bounce to it that this one didn't have. This one is also longer, I believe. Now, there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to find it. This is the first book, by the way. Let me see how many pages this was. No, they were like the same length, and that's how I know I enjoyed this more, because they're the exact same length, but this just felt shorter. This one felt kind of long and drawn out. I'm gonna give this book 3.5 stars. If I gave this one, maybe I think at this point I would give this book 4 stars. I would say this book is like a 3.35. I don't know. I still will continue in the series, but it wasn't my favorite thing in the world. And so we have two other books that we read in this video. Tiffany D. Jackson, Scores Again. I really, really enjoyed this book. And then The Taking of Jake Livingston. This book could have been great. It would just needed a little bit more. It just needed a little bit more and needed maybe a little bit more edits, and it could have been. Speaking of Tiffany D. Jackson, you guys, Tiffany D. Jackson came out with a book. She came out with not a middle grade, a young adult, like I think thriller book that I have on the way now that I had no clue came out. I'm putting it up on the screen. Did y'all know about this? Is this a re-release? What? I did not hear anything about this book, but it's on the way to me. So I'll talk to you guys about that in the next video. But as you guys saw, I went to Barnes & Noble and I picked up 3 books. 2 of them are books you probably expected me to get. And one was kind of, I just saw it in the bookstore. So the first book I saw in the bookstore were Needy Little Things by Chanel Desamore. I actually have heard about this book and I wanted to read this book. And so when I saw it in the bookstore, I was just like, here is my time to get it. So I was able to pick up this book because I am always trying to read as much Black fiction as I can. When my reading days are said and done, I want to be able to say that the Black fiction that came out in my time of a reader, I read most of them. I read 70% of the Black fiction that was widely available to me. That is something that I genuinely want to be able to say. So I'm always picking up from Black authors I haven't read from before, I haven't heard from before, but also Black authors that are in the bookstore. I'ma always give my coin. So then next thing that I got was, I'm the last person on earth to get this book, but I got R.F. Kuang Calabasas. I'm excited to read this book. I said I was going to reread Babel before I got to this book, and maybe I made that up. Maybe I made this up. This book has been getting really mixed reviews, but I didn't love Babel, and that got great reviews. I also didn't love Yellowface, and that got great reviews. So maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the R.F. Kuang that I finally give 5 stars. This thing is hefty. The quality of this book is really good. It's only like a, how many pages is this? It's only like a 550-page book, but it feels as heavy as like a 700-page book. So quality is good. This does have a Barnes & Noble exclusive like sprayed edge, and the lady at the register was like, you don't want the sprayed edge version? No, I'm true to this. No, I don't want the sprayed edge version. I want the regular version. I don't like sprayed edges. Leave me alone. And the last book that I bought, for all you people who think I didn't like The Tainted Cup, yes I did. I bought the sequel to The Tainted Cup, A Drop of Corruption, because I'm excited to read it. I probably will not get to this book anytime soon. Anytime soon. There'll probably be another book before I even get to this book, but I did want to get my hands on it, so I got it, and maybe one day I will get to it soon. Anyways, that is what I got from the bookstore. That is the end of this video. It was a long one, but I'll talk to you guys in the next one.